Last month, I set out on a crazy adventure around the Middle East, spending 5 days non-stop on aircraft, flying back to back with just one overnight in a hotel. The purpose of my trip was to compare Emirates, Etihad, and Qatar Airways economy class to finally answer the question, which one is best? So, we've made it to the final video of Economy Week. Which is better, Emirates, Etihad, or Qatar? So everyone has their personal opinions and experiences. I just want to put that out as a disclaimer. This comparison really gave me some interesting insights. And not only, of course, that the Middle Eastern airlines, at least in economy, are a little more hyped up than they deserve to be. Now, don't get me wrong, all my flights were impressive by economy standards, but I've had similar or even better flights. I guess maybe I had a little too high expectations for economy class. Without further ado, we're going to compare the seats, the meals, the service, the hubs of each airline, and finally conclude which is the best. So let's start with the seats themselves. Here you're seeing the Emirates A380, which, as I said in the full review, which will be linked in a card right now, has a good amount of legroom, great recline, and overall I think this seat is my favorite. In second place, I'm going to put Qatar and their 777-300ER. Somehow, Emirates' seat design on their 777 makes the aircraft feel far more cramped, and it was just generally a much less comfortable experience. Meanwhile, Etihad 787 was the worst of all the long-haul aircraft. I probably wouldn't want to spend more than a few hours in that configuration. However, when comparing to most other airlines, I really liked the headrests and the overall seat layouts that all three airlines had. So second, let's look at entertainment. Now, I'd say that all airlines' entertainment systems are definitely above average. Emirates gets a slight advantage, but Qatar's system is also so good that I can't really say that one wins over the other, although Etihad does lag behind. As someone who loves to watch TV shows, I really appreciated that both Emirates and Qatar kept entire seasons of different shows on their entertainment systems. In my opinion, this makes much more sense than having one episode of Modern Family, one episode of The Middle, etc. All airlines also have USB charging and power ports. As far as Wi-Fi, Qatar usually has Wi-Fi on most of their aircraft, though their 777s certainly lag behind. Emirates overall offered the best Wi-Fi, which is why they get a slight advantage in the entertainment category. On the food front, I'd say that Qatar and Emirates' meals were a little above average, while Etihad's meal impressed me the most. Now granted, I only got to try one real meal on Etihad, but it was still the most impressive. I think all the airlines generally did a good job with my specially ordered meals. So this is one category where Qatar Airways really excels. Their crews are trained to perfection, and although I've heard that they have quite questionable working circumstances, you can clearly tell on board that there's another level of professionalism. They make you feel incredibly welcome, and the service parallels that in business class of some airlines. Meanwhile, on Emirates and Etihad, the service was much more lackluster and did not feel as personal. While Qatar Airways were just slightly above average with the food and their seat, their service and their hub really sets them apart. Doha Hamad International Airport is truly one of the best airports in the world, and it's in a complete other league from Dubai and Abu Dhabi Airport. The terminal is bright and airy, very clean, and super easy to navigate. Meanwhile, Dubai Airport is usually far too busy at Emirates' bank times. There's tens of thousands of passengers cramming onto small trains taking you between concourses, and the terminals, even though they're quite new, already look very aged and lack some basic facilities such as adequate bathrooms, power ports, and resting places. In the meantime, Abu Dhabi Airport, which is currently being rebuilt, is surprisingly chaotic for being the hub of such a large airline. The facility was hot, had several broken lavatories when I was there, meaning you had to walk very far to the nearest working one, and overall was not a good place by global standards to spend a layover. Alright, so I think you're already getting the picture of what I think in this situation. First place is going to go to, drumroll, Qatar. While Qatar had decent food and no Wi-Fi, their seat is absolutely fantastic. When I say that the Emirates A380 won, that is because their seat is truly one of the best in the entire world. Qatar is a very close runner-up, meaning theirs is also incredible on a global scale. Furthermore, the service on Qatar is among the best you'll find on any airline in the world, and there's a completely different sense of personalization and attention here. Lastly, their hub is one of the best airports to connect flights, and I can't wait to go back there. Second will be Emirates, and they were very close to Qatar, and I'd actually say that my Emirates A380 flight was my best flight of all of them, but I'm gonna credit this mostly to the A380 because it is such a fantastic aircraft. So the moral is that if you can fly the Emirates A380, I definitely recommend it, and I'm sure you'll have a great experience. The problem is the huge discrepancy between their A380 and their 777. The latter felt extremely cramped, and even though they have the same configuration as Qatar, something about the seat design and the overall ambiance of the cabin made the experience a lot worse. I also found the service to be the least memorable of the three airlines, and Dubai Airport frankly is not a nice place to connect flights. And regarding Etihad, wow, I was very disappointed. So Etihad, out of these airlines, have equally fantastic branding and they're really looked up to. But what surprised me was how mediocre the flight felt. While the food was good, almost everything else was just decent. The service, the entertainment, the seat, and the Wi-Fi. I also know that people have had a lot of problems with Etihad when things go wrong. On that note, Abu Dhabi Airport certainly is not a place where you want to spend your layover. As it is right now, this was by far the worst place I connected in the Middle East, and I'd urge you to go for Doha or even Dubai instead because your experience will be exponentially better. And I honestly feel like I would have definitely chosen Lufthansa or some of the more reputable airlines in Europe or Asia over Etihad in the future. I also want to add a little note on frequent flyer programs. Since Qatar is a member of One World, it's far easier to earn and redeem valuable miles with them than it is with Emirates or Etihad. If you're going to fly with either of them, I generally wouldn't recommend signing up for their frequent flyer programs since they tend to be quite bad at rewarding you for your loyalty. However, if you're flying Qatar, British Airways or American Airlines are great options. For Emirates, Alaska Airlines, and for Etihad, your options are a lot more limited, but overall you might be best sticking to their program, which is another reason to choose one of the other airlines. I hope this comparison was useful and helpful to you guys. If you are looking at booking flights, let me know what you're looking at and how I helped. I really hope you guys like this series. Let me know if you want more and what airlines I should do. If this video gets 1,000 thumbs up, which will be easy or hard depending on how many views, but if I get 1,000 likes, I will probably record another economy week for next month. And since I'm in the US now, you never know which airlines could get compared, but I'm putting some hints out there. And of course subscribe for all my other videos. I have more premium reviews and things like that coming soon. Plenty more pictures on Instagram for you to explore. And yeah, it's been great chilling with you for the past minutes. Thanks so much for watching, and until I see you all next time, fly safe.